Today's video is sponsored by Grammarly. I think we can all say being productive is a quality we'd all like to have, but sometimes it feels like there's a to-do list that just won't stop growing and not enough hours in the day. I feel defeated by my list of things to do and simply become frozen and unsure of the first step to even take. Luckily, being an entrepreneur has forced me to work through this, and I'm pleasantly surprised at the progress I've made. If you can relate to any of this, as per usual, it's no biggie. Bestie is here to help. Hey guys, it's your bestie B. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to share some productivity tips with you today because this was actually a huge struggle in my life when I first became self-employed and an entrepreneur. I had a very rude awakening that nobody was going to save me and do any of the work for me. So if I didn't work, I didn't make money. So I really had to figure out some small tips and hacks to get myself to be more productive and more efficient, especially in the beginning when you don't have a team, you don't have employees, because your girl was really struggling there. I'm sure at some point or another in your life, you've related to just not feeling productive and kind of not motivated and just not really knowing how to get going. Well, it's very normal, so don't worry, your bestie got you. On a serious note, this time of year, the holiday season is really when I start to take productivity very seriously, because when the holidays start to roll around, I don't want to have to be focusing so much on work. I want to be spending that time with my loved ones. Which brings me to my first point that I'm super obsessed with, which is Grammarly. Thank you so much to Grammarly for sponsoring this portion of the video. Grammarly is a must-have desktop app for anyone looking to boost their efficiency and productivity. Okay, I hate to admit this, but I am a terrible speller, like awful. And I'm also not great at paying attention to detail. So Grammarly has come in so clutch for your girl because those spelling errors that I normally would miss get caught with Grammarly. It's also nice with all the emails I'm constantly sending out to brands, clients, my team, that Grammarly checks over that and can catch any punctuation and grammar errors that I might have. What's great is Grammarly has a free and premium version. The free version of Grammarly will help with things like spelling, grammar, and punctuation suggestions. And the premium version of Grammarly gives you more advanced options like full sentence rewrites for those hard to read sentences that you may have. Grammarly is free to download and super easy to integrate into your daily life. You can use it in things like Google Docs and your emails. As I mentioned, with the holidays rolling around and so many things going on, there is no better time than right now to go ahead and download Grammarly so that you can boost productivity and efficiency. Work smarter and not harder and get your work done faster with Grammarly. Sign up for a free account and get 20% off Grammarly Premium with my URL, which is grammarly.com/Bria. Moving into my next tip, I am such a to-do list girly. If I don't have a list and I can't see what I actually have going on, it basically does not exist. Now, there have been times where I've tried to operate without a to-do list, and what ends up happening is I miss things, I forget things. This used to work way back in the day, but now it just does not work because there's too many things going on. I have really had to learn that the hard way by, accidentally missing meetings, which I felt so bad for because I'm wasting people's times. Things like that forced me to become a to-do list kind of girl. There's so many options for what you could use for a task list. I really like using just the Notes app in my phone just because it's quick and easy, but also there's Google Tasks where you can go in and you can actually move certain things around and prioritize in the order that you want. So both are really great options and just help me have a visual of what I have going on for the day. And I'm not gonna lie, it is very fulfilling for me to check things off of a list. I just feel really productive when I'm able to scratch things off or hit the little bubble. It makes me feel accomplished. For me, that's kind of like targeting the reward system of my brain. It makes me want to get more done. So even if you don't find to-do lists to be helpful, I think it's still a nice little incentive to have a visual of how much you're accomplishing, which feels good. What's also nice about to-do list is it really helps me to not feel so overwhelmed with everything that I do have going on, because I can kind of break everything up into certain lists. Whether that be work stuff going on, I have a to-do list specifically for just YouTube. I have a to-do list for home. I have a to-do list for the holiday season, like what I need to be doing this year to get ready for gifts, parties, all that stuff. I like to break things up very, very specifically. And of course, not everyone needs to do that, but it just helps me to not feel as overwhelmed when I can say, okay, I actually don't have to do as much as I thought today. You know, I'm looking at my list. There's only a couple things I need to check off my to-do list for today. And it just helps me break things up into digestible bits. That way I can start chipping away at things at a very reasonable pace and not feel like I have so much to do all the time. Because the truth of the matter is you're always gonna have something on your to-do list, right? So it's really about sitting down and prioritizing what needs to be done first and watching that list get smaller and smaller. Is it ever gonna be gone? Probably not. So work on prioritizing and organizing what you need to get done today and look at it like that instead of looking at the big picture every day, because that's super overwhelming. And I know for me, that would just like make me super anxious. When I first became an entrepreneur, this little hack really helped me to start getting in the rhythm of being super productive. I used to be at home by myself all day, and it is so tempting to just sit there, get distracted, start doing laundry, start doing other things and not working. But also I realized I was procrastinating because early on in my career, I had a lot of fear about failing and I just didn't have the mindset that I have today. So something that helped me was building momentum. What I mean by that is I always like to start my day with something that A, I enjoy, and B, is super, super easy. I make sure to include it on my to-do list so that I can also physically check it off and feel that good accomplished feeling first thing in the morning. A few things I like to do to start my day to build momentum is simply making my bed or doing a little kitchen cleanup. Nothing brings me more joy than having a clean kitchen. And I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time getting anything done if I see that there's like a dirty kitchen or just like little chores that need to be done. I will actually wake up like an hour early if I have to, and I'll go ahead and clean that kitchen or do whatever chores I need to do so I can be productive for the rest of the day. I'm the kind of person that actually enjoys cleaning, so that checks the enjoyment box for me. But also cleaning up my kitchen is not hard for me. It's something I enjoy, and it's a simple task like loading the dishwasher, wiping down the counters, and it's super fulfilling to see a clean kitchen for me at the start of my day. So that's why I choose that as my build momentum task for each morning. But for you, it could be something different. Maybe it is just making your bed in the morning. I can't tell you how important it is to make your bed, guys. I don't do this every day now, but especially in the pandemic, I would make sure to make that bed because we were home every single day, right? It was hard for me not to go ahead and get back in it. So when I would make my bed, one, it was giving me that feeling of doing something productive, accomplishing something, having a little sense of purpose, but also seeing a made bed kind of made me not want to just go jump back in it. So I would do something else, make some TikToks, answer some emails, go on a walk. You know, it would kind of give me motivation to do something else and would signal my brain that, hey, nap time is over, let's get the day started. That was just a really easy way for me to boost my productivity. Another hack that I absolutely love is the timer hack. Now, this is super easy if you commit to it. If you're not gonna commit to it, it's not gonna work in your benefit. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna allot a specific amount of time to one specific task. The timer hack for me is really helpful when I have to clean. I find that I easily get distracted when cleaning. I might be working on the kitchen, then I'll notice something in the living room and I'll go in the living room, then I'll remember that I need to put my clothes in the dryer. And you see how your brain doesn't get anything done. It's just kind of going from thing to thing. You're in turn kind of multitasking, but you're not actually getting one thing done. So the timer hack is great because you're focusing solely on one thing and you're gonna commit to accomplishing that in a certain amount of time. I like to set my timer for about 15 minutes. So for example, I will just put 15 minutes on my timer, and for that 15 minutes, I can't do anything else but that task. If I finish early, that's great, but only that task. That means I'm not gonna pick up my phone. That means I'm not gonna go get some water. That means I'm not gonna go talk to AJ in the next room. That means I'm not gonna play with Bubby. I'm gonna focus on the task at hand for 15 minutes. And what I've found with the timer hack is that I can actually get things done really, really quickly when I'm not distracted and when I'm not multitasking. Multitasking, we think we're being efficient, and there's studies on this, guys. You should look them up. You're not actually as productive as you think you are when you're multitasking. When you're on your phone while working, when you have the TV playing while working, these little distractions are pulling your attention, and it's not that you can't do two things at once, it's that you can't do two things as great as you probably could if you just focus, okay? So what I always notice with the timer hack is that I get things done way better and way faster when I'm not distracted, I'm not looking at what else is going on, and in turn, you're actually wasting less of your time. Seriously, guys, look this up. There's so much evidence showing that multitasking is really not a thing, and you can get things done so much better without it. I'm really gonna show you guys my truth today, which is my insanely messy bathroom. Anytime I get ready, it's like a hurricane ran through it. I know I'm probably not the only one. Like, when we get ready, at least as girlies, like, when you gotta find something, you gotta find something. So let me show you how dirty my bathroom is, because I also wanna show you how I use the timer hack to quickly transform this disaster, okay? No judgment allowed, okay? Are you guys ready to see this bathroom? You've been warned. We love to see it. Okay, there she is, you guys. If you know, you know. If you don't, you probably don't have a bunch of products to get ready, but that's besides the point. It is always like this when I'm in a hurry, and today was one of those days. And I purposely left it like this so that I could show you that it is possible to transform this. It's okay to be messy, but you can also be productive afterwards. Okay, so I'm gonna demo the timer hack for you in real time. I am just going in my phone. I'm setting my timer for 15 minutes. As I said, for the next 15 minutes, I'm not gonna do anything except for make sure this bathroom is clean. I'm gonna bet that I could get it done in around 5 to 7, just because I know I do this like literally every day. So we're gonna go ahead. All right, let's go. That was only 5 minutes, and we have a clean counter. Also, I accidentally did an hour 15 minutes. I told you guys I wasn't good at attention to detail. I meant that. But anyways, we're just now pushing 9 minutes, so let's keep it moving. Have a floor. My big trick that I love to do is leave drawers open and cabinets. A lot of my cleaning is really just closing things. We're at 7 minutes, you guys. So that little tidy took 2 minutes. That is about half the time I actually needed. I have over 7 minutes left. That just goes to show, like, when you focus on one thing, you can really get it done. Here's a little after of the bathroom, and it only took about half the time we thought it would. Not even 15 minutes, you guys. Just take some time to focus. I think we are all so used to doing everything at once. Our phones are multitasking for us all the time, but it's amazing how much you can actually get done when you just dedicate some time to it. And now I have a clean bathroom. I'm not gonna lie, this one is probably the hardest for me, and it's delegating. So boosting productivity comes with also understanding that you can't do it all. You could do it all, but that's probably not healthy. I'll tell you firsthand, doing it all leads to things like burnout, stress, overwhelm, all sorts of things. As you guys know, this is something I take really seriously because taking on too much at one point in my life led to health issues for me, led to mental health issues for me that I'm still healing healing from. It all could have been solved if I, one, would have asked for help and delegated to other people, or just let other people do their jobs, essentially. You know, it's easy when you're in a work environment or something where people can kind of take advantage of you sometimes, and if you're the nice person in the office, people might be giving you more work than they should be. If something is their job to do, you need to remind them, hey, this goes to so-and-so, this actually isn't my job, but I can refer you to this person who could take care of that for you. You know, you really have to make sure you're setting boundaries. That's part of delegating, saying that these are the things I'm focusing on so that I can do them the best possible way that I can, instead of taking on everything because you're trying to be nice and personable. Nice and personable is not going to sustain you. That's just facts. For me, it's been really hard to delegate because it's hard for me to give other people control, especially when it comes to social media, because, you know, this is my YouTube channel. These are my social platforms, and I want everything to turn out the way I want them to. But it's okay to be growing and depend on other people to kind of help me through that growth. And that's what I've done. I've hired video editors. I've hired people who can help me with my social media, keeping it up. I have a talent management that works on helping me get deals and things like that. It's so important to have other people step in when you feel like things are just becoming too much for you. It's certainly not a sign of weakness. I think if I've learned anything in the past couple of years, the only sign of weakness is not asking for help and not admitting that it's time for you to let go of some of that control. It's very hard to do, but take it from me, it's a growing pain that is worth going through because it'll make you better at your job. I feel like I am mentally and physically in so much of a better place because I don't have as much on my plate. Don't get me wrong, I'm still really busy, but I can't imagine being at this point still doing everything I was doing 2 years ago. I don't know how my body would have handled that. I don't know how my mind would have handled that. So let go of that, delegate, ask for help. My last point is to make sure that you limit distractions. I know some of us might have more issues with this and some of us might not. Personally, I'm someone that has to set up my environment for success. I've talked about how much I love my AirPods before, my AirPod Maxes, and those have seriously helped me be more focused on work. I love to put on my little Maxes and just pump out my emails. Sometimes I don't even have music playing. I just use the noise canceling feature to kind of tune out the ambiance sounds going on. I just realized how helpful it is for me to be really productive and efficient for whatever reason. It helps me so much. Another example is for me, when I was in college, for the life of me, I could not study in my room. This is how it would start. I would start at my little desk, and then I would move to my bed because I thought the chair was uncomfortable. And then I would be in the bed sitting up, and I would slowly slouch backwards until I was fully horizontal, and then I would wake up 3 hours later not knowing anything because I didn't study. And what I learned about myself during that time is that, hey, I can't study in this room. It's not working out for me. So I would take my little butt over to the library and I would study in the library. I hated the library, but I always got stuff done there. Why? Because I knew my friends wouldn't be bothering me there. I put my phone away. The library had literally nothing going on for me, no TV, no distractions. I put my music on, have my work in front of me, and I would get stuff done so much quicker when I would go to the library. And I'm telling you, I didn't love it, but you have to have some accountability here and say, hey, I'm gonna have to pick an environment that works for me. And for me, it was the library. And turns out I ended up making the dean's list because I could actually study in that environment. But prior to that, my grades weren't so hot because I wasn't being honest with myself that I wasn't setting myself up for success. Sometimes you're gonna have to play around and figure out what that means for you. Maybe you do study better with friends, maybe you don't. Neither is wrong. Figure out your cup of tea, whether that be in the workplace, studying. Figure out what works for you and stick with it because you will see progress, I'm telling you, over time when you commit to setting yourself up for success and working in an environment that serves you with little to no distractions. I hope this video was super helpful for you to get some tips on how to boost your productivity. If you have any tips in the comments, please leave them down below because you know we love to share tips and tricks here. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you guys next week.